Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? It's a holiday weekend, so we get a little extra time off. That's always nice, is it not? I am sitting outside at my house because outside is my favorite place to be. I love the outdoors, love camping and being on the lake and anything that really involves outdoors. In the fall, I like to have bonfires or little fire pits, things like that. But anywho, so I have been really slacking on creating my content lately. So I've got to step that back up, and I have decided to go back to my original idea of my storytelling because I've lived a lot of life, I've got a lot of stories, and I do have some videos on my channel where I have told stories. I kind of switched gears for a while and was reporting on everything going on with the current administration. And if anybody, my hat's off to all of the independent media that does that because it is exhausting because there's something going on crazy every single day. So that was wearing me out. And I was like, you know what? This wasn't even my original idea. So let me switch back to what I'm comfortable with and what I enjoy instead of being stressed out, keeping up with what's going on. Because I know it's important to stay informed, but it just becomes a bit much, you know? So that is not my forte, and I will leave that to the professionals. So today I'm going to talk about my current situation with my now previous employer. I think that most people, as you go through life, you come across jobs that you might love and you're really happy with, and then you come across jobs that, they're just okay, or whatever the case may be. So I had been with my previous employer, well, my employer until yesterday, for 10 years, 10 years working for this company. And I will not, of course, I'm not going to name the company or anything like that, but yeah, I've been with them for 10 years. And I started out as what's called a claims examiner, and we processed medical claims. Like you go to the doctor, you have a doctor's visit. This is just one one example, and you you have your doctor's visit. You're checked out. The doctor examines you, whatever. He might order some medication, he or she, or some labs, or whatever the case may be. So after they provide that service to you, the provider bills your insurance company for those services. And that is how it becomes a claim, which I'm sure most of you probably know that, but so we would process those claims. And so I did that, and then I went into training, and I've been training for several years now. Well, about 8 of the 10 years I've been training. So a lot of things that kept me there were things like we had a flexible schedule. Um, they used to give out really good PTO time. Benefits were pretty decent and everything like that, and I was pretty satisfied with the job. But I've been there, like I said, for 10 years. Now, their pay scale is, I would say, less than desirable. It's not horrible, but it definitely could be better. Because in the same industry, doing the same types of jobs, the pay scale is significantly higher. So I had gotten myself into this place where I felt like, with my age and how long I had been with the company. I guess me and one of my coworkers had described it as a bad relationship that you decided to settle for, that you've settled for less than what you deserve, and we all know how that goes. And so I kind of felt that way, like I was just settling, and I was scared to put myself out there, scared to try to look for another job and having to start all over somewhere else, especially after being there for so long. And I just started curiously, out of curiosity, only people that are close to me, asking, like, hey, by the way, how much do you make? What's your annual salary? And I am not kidding you. Every person that I asked makes more money than I do. And I was like, you know what? I'm 54 years old. I've been at this job for 10 years, and I am not getting paid what I'm worth. I have a bachelor's degree. I have good work experience. I'm smart. Like, I really need to find a place that's going to appreciate me for what I have to offer and pay me accordingly, because this company is not going to do that. So we had been having some issues with our department, and there had been a change in management, and I won't even get into all of that because that was a lot to deal with. But I was doing the best I can, as were all the other trainers. We were just doing the best we could with the situation we were facing. Then all of a sudden, people just start quitting. So we get raises once a year, okay? And I think the most I've ever gotten for the annual raise is like 22 cents, maybe. And it's just pitiful because the raise is never enough to make any real difference in your paycheck. And as you probably could tell, is from the amount that they give you, it will take you 20 years to make any type of decent money. And so the raises were late this year, so we finally got our raise information, and everybody gets different raises. There's not like I don't know what they base it on. I don't know if it's based on, I'm assuming, on your performance. Um, Now, I was one of the fortunate ones because I actually got a 32-cent raise, which was at the higher end, and it's still pathetic and pitiful that 32 cents is considered the higher end. So I added that up, what that equals to, and it equals to $48 a month. And I did tell them, I said, what do y'all want me to do with that $48? I said, you know what that's like? It's like a slap in the face. I've had 10 years of dedicated service to this company, and this is how you show your appreciation. And they used to give us once a year at Christmas, we got a $25 bonus. I told him, I said, y'all can keep that $25. Then I heard a story that an employee actually wrote out a check for $25 and took it to HR, said, you can have your $25. Because that's another slap in the face. They just don't really show much appreciation for their employees. They don't do anything extra for us. Then they decided to take away our PTO time. Not all of it, but they reduced it. They reduced the amount that you get. They reduced it from even the amount you'd already earned. It's just pathetic. Because after you've been there 10 years, you have to be going into your 11th year, I guess, before you actually get it. But you would get 5 weeks of vacation time. And I was getting close to that. I was so excited about it. And then they were like, nope, that's not going to happen. We're taking it back from you. You're not getting your 5 weeks. You're going to stay at where you're at. And I thought, why do they keep taking things from us? Why? And then they don't even know, I don't think they know the meaning of cost of living raises, because we all know that the price of everything continues to go up and up and up. Nothing's going down. Housing, groceries, everything. Gas has stayed pretty steady, but most of the things that we have to pay for on a monthly basis, to keep a roof over our head and food on our table, and utilities, those have gone up. Everything's gone up. And these companies who are, multi-million dollar companies, probably in the billions, I'm not sure what their profit margin is, but I know it's really high. It's a very financially successful company. It's a big company. It's worldwide. they're based in India, but they have locations all over the world. And they're not hurting for money, put it that way. It's a very large company. And I can see why, because they're so cheap and they don't want to give you any benefits. They don't want to pay you a decent wage. They don't want to do any of that. So I just decided I was done. And I made a very bold decision and I gave my resignation yesterday. I don't have another job lined up yet. I've got prospects. I've been on interviews and I'm continuing to look because I'm being very picky because I know what I want. But fortunately for me, I do have 401k money that I can, borrow from to get me through until I do find a job. So that is my plan. But anyway, I didn't do this very recklessly with no plan in place. I do have a plan in place, but I am fortunate that I do have the 401k. So that's how I just made my decision. I said, you know what? I'm done. There was some stuff that went down yesterday and it just pushed me right over the edge. And I said, okay. So at the end of the day, I waited till I got my 8 hours in and I put in my resignation. So then today I was getting phone calls asking me what they can do to retain me. And I said, well, you're going to have to pay me a significant amount of money for me to stay. It's going to have to be a big bump in pay. So the person I was talking to was not the person that makes that decision. So I was told that they would pass it along. And I said, they're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. But then I find out that my boss's boss had actually contacted my old boss to see if she could talk to me. He was like, I can't lose her. I don't want to lose her. And I know that I'm valuable, but it's like you all don't show me any appreciation. You don't value me until I'm leaving because we have different clients that we work for. It's an outsourcing company, so we work for different healthcare companies. And the client that I am on, I am the only trainer. And there's no other trainer. I have no backup, nothing like that. So, and I do a lot. I do a significant amount of supporting this client, and they know me very well. We have a great relationship and all of that. And I've been with the same client since I've been with the company. So for that, I guess they see now like, hey, she is valuable. We can't lose her, but they're not going to do what I'm asking to keep me. I know they're not. So, and then I was talking to my old boss when she called me. She said, I'm not calling you to try to see if you'll stay. She said, I wanted to check on you. She said, and so we talked and everything. And she said that, I lost my train of thought here. But anyway, we had a really good conversation, and they were really desperate to try to get me to stay. But I told her, I said, they're not going to do what I'm asking. And oh yeah, I know what I was going to talk about. I said, there's been several times throughout the years that I have applied for other positions within the company so I can move up. I've been in the same position. I feel like I have good qualifications. I have good knowledge. Like I said, a good education. I'm like, I should be able to move up in the company. Most people, after they've been somewhere so long, that's what you do. And I told her, I said, every time I apply, I get nothing back. Because now that I've been applying for jobs, I always get an email. I know it's automated, but it comes back and it says, we have received your application. We are reviewing your application, so on and so forth. And I said, I've applied for a lot of different positions and I never hear anything. And she's telling me that they can actually stop that from happening if they don't want to lose you in your current position. She said, I can't say for sure, but she said, I would guess that that's probably what was going on. And I was like, well, great. So now they're stopping me from being able to advance myself in my career. And I said, this is why I have to take matters into my own hands and find somewhere else to go that is actually going to pay me what I deserve and value me for what I have to offer. So that is what I'm doing. I am on a journey right now, but I have free time now. So I was like, I'm really going to work on this podcast and try to get that back up and running and post more content because that's what I need to do. And so I just wanted to jump on here today and tell the story. And so I've titled it Stories for the Ride Home because I know that a lot of people I do. I know I do. I listen to podcasts while I'm driving. And I listen to music too, but I also listen to podcasts, and it's a great place to, like, especially if you have a long commute, like to and from work, or if you're even on a road trip. It's really something that provides that distraction, whether it's an audiobook or podcast or even music or whatever. But it is a good time for me, and I know a lot of people do the same thing. So um, I would appreciate if you enjoy my content, which I plan to put out more. But if you feel like you would enjoy this content, please like this video and subscribe to my channel. It's free. There's no cost to subscribe. And, it really does help push it out, push the videos out into the algorithm, and so that more people will see it. So, like I said, it's completely free and it helps a lot. It really does. So I would appreciate that. And also, I would like to be able to share stories of yours. So if you do have any stories about any job situations that you were in or what steps that you took to make a change, I would love to hear those. And so my email address, I will link it in the video, but it is kgolfgirl, GOLFGIRL 35 at gmail.com. So just shoot me an email, let me know your thoughts, and if you want to share your story so I can share it with others, that would be wonderful. I would really appreciate that. And also you can leave a comment, and I appreciate feedback so that I can improve on what I'm doing. So, but yeah, so I really appreciate each and every one of you. Appreciate you if you took the time to watch this video. And if you hit that subscribe button, I appreciate that as well. So I will come back with more stories. Everybody have a great Labor Day weekend. Bye.